This is the Great Legend, and I'm coming at you live with some Legends truth in the daytime. Man, I tell you what, fans, it's been a long time. Been about 5-6 days. I tried to go live last night with the same kind of subject, but I got some, news, death in the family. My wife's grandma passed away, so, I had to take care of business. Family first. Couldn't do the video. But I'm doing the video today. And that grandma, old granny, she's in a better place. So I couldn't be more happy for that whole situation. But, of course, it's different because, well, I have some, different ways of dealing with stuff and, all this kind of stuff. So, there's differences. Wife, it's my wife's grandma, man. She's known this woman for 40 years, so she's very upset. Hardest thing we'll be doing here in a couple of hours is telling the kiddos, you know what I'm saying? Because this is our kids' first big human loss. So, there's always something going on. I think God puts these tests in our lives, to make us stronger, make us better people, and make us trust in Him more often. Now, I know when I talk about God and Jesus and all that kind of stuff, Christian beliefs right here coming at you live, but I'm no damn saint. Y'all know I cuss a lot, and sometimes that passion of the things I love, the passion for the things I care about, kind of influence where these things go, as far as me entertaining you or just dropping down the knowledge for you. And I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit today about a video that was brought to my attention. I guess it was Wednesday night. I was sick. I couldn't, normally I watch these guys on my way home on Wednesday nights, but I was sick, so I didn't go into work and pretty much slept most of that day. But before I get into this person, let's go ahead and check the chat real quick, because we do have some people in the chat that I want to give some love, give some shout outs to. We got 13 people watching right now. Thank y'all so much for taking some time out of your day to watch the Great Legend deliver this Legends truth for you. It's going to be a good video. I mean, it's stuff that most of everyone already knows, but some of you may not know. Because, at first I was advised not to drop no names or whatnot, but I will drop names because I really just don't care. And plus, you got to know the story, right? But it's going to be a good one. All right, so welcome again. A lot of y'all were here from last night. And I want to thank y'all again for, just offering your prayers and condolences when I let y'all know that news. But I got Last Avenger 85 in the house, man. Thanks so much for watching Last Avenger. Miss Hustle, so great to see you again. Always. Cat Rin says, finally made a live show. Legend finally made a live show. Yay. Yeah, it's been about 5 days since I played my video game Red Dead Redemption. We got DVC, Dr. Von Chilla, man. He is a shining star. Check his show out. Now, he has a show that comes on a little earlier on Wednesday nights that I try to get in there and catch, but, kind of hard, can't really catch that sometime. But I do love that show. Of course, ETA Nick, Luther Manning, Patrick, Reaper Tate 728, and DVC himself, John, Dr. Von Chilla, the best. Some of the best minds for comics right there. So if y'all are interested, make sure you sub up those guys. Doomsday Comics. Hey, he misspelled revolution. That's not how you spell revolution? Okay, hold on. Let's fix that real quick, because I'm going to get a shit ton of hate for this video anyway. Revolution. How do we spell that? Revolution. Revolution. All right, I've got it. I'm going to get it down right here. This is a live show, people. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of these other channels for years. Those people don't do it live. They usually type out their script. They'll read it and just give you a background picture. But, hey, man, each their own. I come at them live, so if there's some screw-ups or some misspellings, that's what happens. That look a little better? Y'all may have to refresh your pages to see Revolution. All right, so anyway, let's keep checking the old chat. The chat, baby. Chat's still loading. Okay, back to the chat, baby. All right, so hopefully I spelt revolution right. Revol. I don't think I think it's still spelt wrong. No, I think that's right. Okay. All right, so thank you for that, Doomsday Comics, for letting me know about that misspelling. Usually I'm a pretty good speller, too. DVC, odd time for a legend stream, so I'm lucky to catch it. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. We got Jeremy Edwards in the house. Yeah. What's up, Jeremy? Great to see my old blasted brother right there. Amazing Murphinator 1028, who you're going to get to see live this Saturday. We actually may see Jeremy Edwards live this Saturday on Legends Live Auction as well. What's up, Brian? Vinyl Collector 227 in the house. Hey, Last Avenger, thank you, man. Thank you. Losing loved ones is pretty hard, you know. That's right, man. Thanks, DVC. That's what I'm talking about. He ain't no saint either. Shoot, yeah, we got to tell it like it is, man. And ain't a lot of us left out there. What's up, Alfred? Alfred 83, man. What's up, Roman Curtis? Roman Curtis, thank you for the support. Let me know if you got that package. I think I sent you Beta Ray Bill. I don't really remember, but I sent you something. Big East Comics. Just had him a live auction last Friday night. It's great to see Big East Comics. Enrique, the home of the New York Warriors, representing. All right, man. And Symphonic Elk, bro. Hey, thank you so much. Jester's Fortune, man. How you been doing? What's up, comics and stuff? So let me get to my stuff real quick. I want to give a big shout out, a lot of love to our brother from another mother, Tim TiVo from Lords of the Long Box. Like I said, after ETA Nick and the guys, man, DVC, Reaper Tate, Luther Manning, Patrick, they get on there, do an excellent live show, just answering questions from the community and, like, you know, sharing their insight of comic book collecting, because there's a lot of different, there's about probably 3-4 generations of comic book collectors on that one show. So it's really awesome if you want to get, like, different generational, you know, stories, what these guys went through during their whole comic book collecting, and just life stories. I mean, because, you know, you get on these things, you know, you get on YouTube, you listen to gamers, you listen to the comic book people, you listen to, you know, do-it-yourself, fix-it stuff, whatever. I mean, like, that's really cool. You learn something, you know. But if you listen for that special hidden message, these special hidden message life stories that the storytellers are giving you, you'll be a better person, because you can take stuff out of those conversations. Or I say conversations because when I'm coming at you live, it's like a conversation. I'm not here to make $1 million. I'm not here to get over 75,000 subscribers. I'm not here for billions and billions of views. I'm here to entertain you. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. That's why I enjoy what I do. It's, you know, I love it. But if you take the time to just sit back and take it all in, and then, like, decode it in your brain, and hopefully you'll get a better message than the one you expected to look for in the first place. So, and tonight, you know, reviews from the Batcave, Chad and Rich, they're going to be doing something on the Reviews from the Batcave channel, which is going to change the comic book community for the better. That's just what I heard. You got to go watch Reviews from the Batcave tonight to find out. So, Amazing Murphinator, TiVo, the balls, man. He's got the balls, doesn't he? Comics with Bueller, one of the hottest new YouTube channels here in the comic book community for 2018. I'd have to say, if there was a CBA award for up-and-coming, you know, Rookie of the Year, it would either go to Silver Age Dave or Comics with Bueller, two of the top. Make sure you sub those guys up. So are we going to rant about SJWs? They scare me sometimes. Ooh, Last Avenger 85, especially the all right, well, got to feed. All right, so hey man, TiVo, the man of the hour, is here. Lords of the Long Box, thank you so much, brother. It's great to see you here. I was just telling them Wednesday nights on my way home from work, I usually listen to this kick-ass channel called Lords of the Long Box. That have Dark Side Jedi, Gemini Mint Collectibles, this guy named TiVo, and they bring you a lot of cool topics about comic books, pop culture, and things like that. Well, in Tim's last video, episode 88, he was talking about how, a lot of it came from Movie Geek News and the Solo movie that released last weekend that didn't get a real big box office draw, like, what was it, the Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi did a lot better. But he was talking about how through different generations, people will look at movies a different way. Like, for me being of the 70s, me and my old boy, Strictly Comics, we kind of like the old school. We like our Mark Hamill, we like our Han Solo, Harrison Ford, we like Carrie Fisher. We like the old school, And a lot of the people from the old school, like Dark Shadows, I'm a big Dark Shadows fan from the 60s soap opera, 66 to 71. Well, I didn't like that Tim Burton movie, man. That wasn't my Dark Shadows. Hashtag, not my Dark Shadows. Hey! Just to represent some of the new school millennial folks that like doing hashtags, which I've actually got hashtags in my video. Maybe I'll get a couple of stupid idiots to watch because of those two hashtags. One of them being ComicsGate and one being hashtag SJW. We'll see if this video gets some more views or not. And, don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Because if you're a hater coming on this channel, because maybe you heard about it from someone else, don't hate the player. Hate the game. And the game is a couple of your big founders like to put hashtags about that little keywords and crap in their videos. Hell, we take a look at hot books, moist books, sexy looks, 9899. Y'all hashtag that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So don't hate the play, hate the game. Normally, normally I have just a basic Great Legend show, June 1st, 2000. It is what it is. I don't have a lot of flashy preview pics or thumbnails. But anyway, so yeah, we may get some different opinions, which is what, it's all about, is different opinions. You go back to the founding fathers. Not everybody agreed on the same thing. So there's a lot of differences. And so when TiVo was talking about those Star Wars movies and how Solo just didn't do very well, and he talked about, they doing this, he didn't mention this by name, but they kind of rolling with that Activision style, maybe have one company do, like, say, Treyarch do Call of Duty whatever, and then Infinity Ward do Call of Duty whatever, have maybe like a Black Ops and then a normal Call of Duty game. So, trying to release these a lot quicker. It's kind of like how I come from the old school. I come from Skylanders. Boy, Activision was releasing one Skylanders a year. Activision, Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever. You start to see the dollar signs, and you don't want less money. You'll want more money. So you're going to keep on doing what you do to, empty out the piggy bank or make more money, because we all know that money is a big, people like money, people, worship money. They're jealous over the money that they don't have. And sometimes that jealousy can fuel a revolution of hate, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So during the video, Lords of the Long Box, check out the video description below. And I'll check the chat here in a little bit. Tim went off on, like, where he related some of the people that like the old school, that don't like change. He kind of related it into the comic book world, where we'll have comic book folks, we'll have comic book fans that really enjoy reading Marvel comics. And we'll have some fans that don't like reading Marvel comics today in modern day, because the modern Marvel comics they release today are not the same comics that they released years ago when those people were kids. And so instead of, like, going back to their childhood when they open up a Marvel comic, they open up a Marvel comic and they turn on CNN News, or Fox News, or whatever media outlet you're into the most. So, and that hurts a lot of people's feelings. And we look at it and we think to ourselves, is a comic book or a movie or a video game, or you take your favorite piece out of a board game, you take out the yellow pawns on the game Sorry, or the game Pop-O-Matic Trouble, you take the yellow pawns out. That ain't your trouble. Hashtag not my trouble. Hashtag not my sorry. They took out the yellow piece and you like the yellow piece. And they put a purple piece in there. Y'all all remember the purple Teletubby? I don't know if social media was that big back when the purple Teletubby came out, but let me tell you, all of you people wouldn't be doing videos about diversity in comics or Comicsgate or SJW or any of that. Y'all would be doing videos about the purple Teletubby. Just saying, everyone, has their own style. But maybe you didn't ever get the color purple. Maybe you didn't get a purple shirt when you were growing up. Maybe you didn't have a purple magic bag that the purple Teletubby had. You were jealous, fueled your hate. You started to hate Teletubbies. Just a simple little show that tried to brighten a baby's day, but it takes an adult to hate it, bash it, bully anyone that likes it. So yeah, back in the day, I guess we could say a lot of bullies was bullying little babies. A lot of those folks that hate social justice warriors, or a lot of those folks on the alt-right that don't like homosexuals. Maybe some of those white nationalists. I'm just saying, I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I'm not defending the liberal side. I'm looking at both sides. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it's tough sometimes, how people don't understand certain things. And I've been called out on stuff before by people in our comic book community. People that I've had beefs with through the years, and which people make PSAs about the great Legend, or people will say, "Oh, Legend made a video. He's bashing you in this video." When I'm really just using that person as an example of maybe a guy that collects multiple copies of books, or a couple of people that film more videos about variants and hot, moist spec books and all that kind of stuff. So I'm relating my knowledge of what I feel about multiple books and my knowledge about what I feel about spec books, hot, moist. I don't know how a book is moist. I think some of our comic book fans, some people hate seeing women in comics. Other people, really love the women in comics. It makes them moist. I don't know. But to each their own, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I love Sue Storm. I love Invisible Woman. She ain't making me moist or anything, but it's a cool, kick-ass character. But so everyone kind of has, different sides and things of that nature. But one of the things I want to let y'all know about is jealousy fuels a revelation of hate. And last night, or, when I got to sit down and watch TiVo's Lords of the Long Box video, I thought it was a great video. I thought he broke it down. He showed different sides of the coin, and he pretty much gave a TiVo's truth on a couple of YouTube channels, one being Diversity in Comics, one being Captain Cummings. And a lot of you out there may not like those channels. Maybe y'all don't like their agendas, or their right-wing, white nationalist, alt-right, Donald Trump wearing Make America Great Again, having, just stuff like that. But it's all a part, I say don't hate the player, hate the game, because really they're just kind of pawns in a bigger piece of the puzzle. And I know I don't want to be disrespectful to those channels, because if you look at the channels, and you look at the subscribers of those channels, you look at the views of those channels, you look at the interaction those channels have with their fans, it's pretty monumental. You know, it's very, very monumental for like anything based off of comic books to get that kind of notoriety, you know, where you're not just talked about on YouTube, but you're talked about all facades of social media. So, you know, good on you guys for, you know, making names for yourselves. Pretty freaking awesome, you know. Some went to TiVo's channel last night and said, "Oh, what? You jealous? You jealous of this?" And that's farther from the truth. I mean, if you look at, and you know, I don't want to defend TiVo in a way that, you know, defends him in that kind of a way, because it's not all about views or numbers. But TiVo does have a huge Instagram following, big time. It's insane. Make sure you find Lords of the Long Box on Instagram. I didn't look at the numbers, you know, because numbers to me are important. The people are important. Numbers, money, all of that stuff, not important to me. Totally not important to me. People may think that it's important to me. Some people may say, "Oh, it's just a popularity contest." Blah, blah, blah. And you know what I say to those people is what, you know, any WWE superstar says in the locker room. If you want to be better of yourself, if you want to make an impact in the community, you know, you got to get off your ass. You got to put the fucking work in. Sorry for my French, but if, you know, you keep, people keep bitching about things and complaining. This is not TiVo. This isn't you. These are some other people. TiVo's not bitching or complaining. TiVo puts the work in. His channel, 2.2K subscribers, whipping that ass all day, every day with one of the hottest shows on Wednesday night. But some of these other folks, these smaller channels, the folks that do these little off-airs, hidden agendas, play the telephone games, spread the lies, spread the rumors, bash other people's channels, hate on other people's live shows because their live shows are more successful than theirs. The list goes on. And let me tell you something, people. That happens in our own comic book community right there. PSAs, CGC, PGX, whatever, man. That stuff happens in our own damn community. And, you know, until, you know, we can fix it in our own community, I don't think there's going to be no way to fix it across the whole community. But I'm optimistic about things, and I never give up real easy on stuff. You know, I'm not going to fight no damn war with the Comicsgate or the anti-SJW kind of folks, because I'm really not interested in that kind of stuff, you know. But by looking at the numbers of diversity in comics and by looking at the numbers of Captain Cummings, there's a lot of people in the world today that are interested in hate. They love, and TiVo talked about this last night, they love the negativity. They flock to the negativity. They get off on the negativity. Years ago, well, not years ago, I guess this could be last year, I got a beef with this guy on YouTube. I even got drunk because I was just so angry at this guy, you know. And that's the guy's plan. That's what he did. You know, he put alien emojis in the chat, hashtagging this, hashtagging that. Drove me so crazy and got me so upset that I actually went on New York Warriors live show and made a complete ass of myself. You know, and I'm Biggs, and I apologize to you and Manny and y'all's team before. That same guy that did all that did that to other people in the comic book community behind closed doors. He got one of the best members of the comic book community that I've never heard a cuss word out of his mouth go off on this guy, because that guy triggered some anger in him. Triggered some of that hate. It's like kind of reverse hate. The guy hates, then he like triggers that person to hate back. That guy would be perfect for guys like Captain Cummings or guys like Diversity in Comics, because same thing. Jealousy fuels a revolution of hate. So why that guy even tries to like get involved in our comic book community is beyond me, when he ought to just go hang out with those other guys, which, by the way, I think he said this particular guy wanted to be a moderator between TiVo and Captain Cummings. And I can see that, you know. It might give that guy some more subscribers on his YouTube channel, or might, you know, let more people know about, you know, his agenda in the comic book or YouTube community. You know, it might get people on board. And let me tell you, that guy, I'm not mentioning his name, but me and him have a lot in common as far as on comic books go. One thing I just didn't want to put up with anymore is the hate, you know, the jealousy of other people, the hate toward new comic book community members. I remember, you know, it hadn't taken very long, but Silver Age Dave, him and Comics with Bueller, two of the hottest YouTube channels of 2018. Silver Age Dave's already got over 1,000 subs. Just, I can't even imagine what that one guy thinks, because he's still sitting at like whatever he's sitting at. And I'll check the chat here in a minute. But so, with that being said, before I go into any more of some of the history of things that not even these Captain Cummings or Diversity in Comics people know about, I'll kind of give you the history all the way back from 2009. You know, my first year in the September 2009, my first year in the comic book community. I was about 2011, but I'll kind of fill you in on how I got involved in our YouTube comic book community, because a lot of you don't know this history. A lot of you can only go back in time to see our old buddy We Love Comics and all the stuff that he stirred up in the comic book community. It's really sad too, because I always felt like if I would have played a bigger part in the comic book community in 2015 and 2016, I could have steered clear some good channels away from some of the snake oil salesmen. But a lot of times, those people, the negative people, are going to have huge followings. You know, you turn on the nightly news, most of the time it's negative news. You know, it's either something our president is doing that's, you know, not real nice, or, you know, it's murders going on, or rapes, or school shootings. Just today in my town, we had a student at one of the high schools commit suicide. And, you know, no one knows why. You know, it takes time and all that kind of stuff. But what is the first thing the police officers and law enforcement, the first thing those folks are going to do is they're going to take a look at this kid. They're going to take a look at his family life, his family background, but the fastest thing, because in today's times, this isn't Wally, this isn't the Beeve, okay? We're not going home to tell our dad and ma about our problems that we've had at school. You know, we're actually going on to social media and we're telling our little technology, our little computers, our phones, we're telling those devices, if you will, that artificial intelligence, we're telling Siri, we're telling Alexa, we're telling whatever the Google person is, we're telling all those people about these things that are going on in their life, whether it be like bullies or people hating on us because, you know, we may bring something different to the table that they're not really into, or something that they don't like. And, you know, it's things like that where you might be a kid at school where you've got a lot of bullies ganging up against you, kicking you while you're down, you know, trying to say things about you that aren't true, but they're trying to drum up the negativity in spite of you. You know, all that kind of stuff not only goes down when we're fucking me and Tebow's 46, I'm 41. So no matter how old you get, when you spend the time on social media, you know, people are going to like dog, and people are going to hate, people are going to, you know, be jealous, people are going to fuel that revolution. And it must have messed that one kid up here in town so much, he committed suicide about it, because he couldn't get the real help that he needed. He may have went to social media, you know, to talk, and I know TiVo's views on school shootings and things like that. I kind of know where he tends to lean on the political side of things. And it's really sad, because when you have kids yourself, you know, it's like later today when my kids get home, I'm going to have to tell them, that their grandma passed away, their first major human loss of life. That's going to be very hard on them, but I've got to get that strength to let them know, hey, this is, what happens in life. We're not, our physical bodies won't live forever, but I'll do good with them. I'm not going to preach to them too much about, that we're, for me personally, I'm going to get to see that woman pretty fast, because in heaven there's no sense of time. So, when I die, and I go up to heaven, she'll be there, and she'll be like, damn, only about a minute ago I was still on that earth. You know what I mean? So there's really no sense of time. Like I said, if you ever want to learn about Jesus, or you want me to tell you more about Jesus, hit me up with a private message, and I'll make sure that, by the end of the conversation, you're going to know a lot of things that Jesus has done for you and will always be there to do things for you. But not to make this religious. I'm going to kind of give you some history. But before I do that, let's check the chat. Let's see how many people we still got in the chat. We do got some great viewers here. By the way, currently, I'm going to refresh the page here. Lords of the Long Box, latest episode 88, has 1,283 views. 66 thumbs up. Very good. 218 thumbs down. So, by TiVo telling his message and his thoughts, it brought over a lot of people to thumb down that video. Which is real funny, by the way. Because people, there's different cliques around all of YouTube. Even our own community has cliques. That guy I was just telling you about, well, he was upset with some things being done or whatnot, and he came over to, when I was on a show called Blaster Stash It, he came over, and Blaster Stash It, we started getting a lot of thumbs down, because me and my boy Trinity, my boy Jeremy, we had to lay the law down. We had to put some people in timeout, to kind of make them calm down, because we ain't trying to fight. We trying to review comic books, right? So we started getting a lot of hate. And, just this past week, we found out from one of those people that used to associate with those people. He told us the truth. He says, yeah, they thumbed your asses down. And, I always kind of knew it, but those guys just straight up lied to my face about, that thumbs down stuff. They just lied to my face, like I was in a hangout with them people. They lied to my face. So chalk that up as about the 6th or 7th thing them stupid idiots have pissed me off with. So yeah, all those guys came over. A lot of those people thumbed down Lords of the Long Box video. And notice how, and they also left some very derogatory racist comments. How about that one, you ever notice there's not a lot of females, not a lot of ladies that follow diversity in comics or Captain Cummings? I wonder why that is. We may look at that later, but I don't know if we'll have time for that today. So, let's check this chat real quick. A lot of stuff, and I'm sorry I haven't... I'm laughing at Dutt Rank. He says, Captain Cummings is still relevant. Yeah, look him up, man. He finally made it big. He always wanted to make it big. And y'all got to realize, Captain Cummings, when I did my first comic book video, old Phil, man, he brought me in. He actually invited me to do Comic Talk Podcast. This was a show we used to do on Skype years ago. Phil would do this thing on Skype, and it was a great show. I mean, we had an awesome, little pool of talent. I got in on episode 6. Episode 5, there was this awesome G1 guy named Dark Avenger C86. Of course, Dark Avenger C86 went off to create Dark Avenger Inc., which was kind of one of the first group live, show type things. And Captain Cummings got mad because Captain Cummings was not invited to that show. That's just some kind of hidden stuff. This is back in 2011. Captain Cummings was kind of pissed, so it's like, oh, hey, screw it. We'll do our own show. So Captain Cummings got Doc and Howlett, Chris. He got Tim, a.k.a. Howler Mouse. He got Hippies Collectibles. He got Travis, Oddfellows Thoughts. And he got myself. And we had the very first comic book live show on YouTube. We used to do it on Sundays. We'd get on Skype together. Cummings would record it, and then he would put it on YouTube with like a lot of pictures for the background. You know, we talked about comics and what we were reading, what we enjoyed. You know, really pleasant back in 2011, the G1 comic book community. Pretty pleasant. But even in that very first, we kind of got a sense of some jealousy because Dark Avenger Chris went one way and Captain Cummings didn't go along with him to do that. But, you know, Captain Cummings, you know, he didn't need no Dark Avenger. He had his own thing. You know, he had a lot of people, so it's like, hey, just branch him off, have 2 good comic book live shows in the community, and it was very successful. Let me check more chat real quick. We got Alex the Comic Hoarder in the house. Funko Collector, man, what's going on? Alex is in the house, man. It's good to see Alex. Alex is here, baby. Finding joy in life, man. Hey, JoJo, Pop.Comics. Is JoJo from the Woman Cave in Vegas. Puff Puff, man, where the hell have you been? I always say that, but I always miss seeing Puff Puff. Jason Smith in the house, hanging out with Cat Rim Figures. Jeff Johnson, the name you could trust, man. That's who you want on your side when shit goes wrong. Dang, this is an early Great Legend show. Duck Rank was actually the one that founded the Great Legend show, or got me inspired to bring this character to life on YouTube back in 2009. So Duck Rank, always thank you for that. Davis Comic Finds just shares his stuff. Hashtag troll rebirth, man. I know this might sound revolutionary, but it's okay to disagree with someone without seeing them as the enemy and wishing they burn in hell, right? DVC, baby. OMG, Chris. He loves, he respects, he treats everybody with respect in the comic book community. People are saying TiVo's scared to have a conversation live about it all. I know Cummings and Diversity have knowledge, but TiVo has mad game. And, you know, that's the difference between those channels. And I'll tell you like it is, quite honestly. I've seen those other channels. I don't follow those other channels. But I've known I've known Captain Cummings for almost 9 years, getting close to 10. The Captain is a lot more comfortable writing all of his stuff down, or in the early years, and this ain't bashing, this is just telling it like it is. Captain Cummings used to give us the history of Golden Age comics by going to Wikipedia, reading about it, and then just putting some pictures over it. But to each his own. I mean, that's the way he felt comfortable with doing things. It's just kind of like either reading word for word, you know, like going to websites, like social media websites, a lot of those social media websites that talk about diversity and social justice warriors, he would just read the website and, you know, give little tidbits and, you know, little vulgar humors there and stuff like that. But to each his own. All right. So we're still going. Don, is Don the Doctor in here? There he is. What's up, Don the Doctor? You know, some people asked me not to do this video because they thought I may get attacked. I've been getting attacked since 2009. It's shitty, but that's the nature of the beast. When I say nature of the beast, I'm talking about the beast system itself. But let's get back to the story. So early 2011, we had a kick-ass show, Comic Talk podcast, and what happened, you know what, let me bring up the chat over here. I'm sorry, I don't have my chat up over there. But so what had happened was Google Hangouts became a thing. It was a easier way to do a live show with an ensemble group. So we were the very first comic book live show to use Google Hangouts. So that was really cool. Fast forward, not too long, because that group didn't last very long, I started doing solo live shows. Freaking awesome. We had a falling out, and I'm going to tell you how this falling out went. It's just such a stupid story, but it's part of the story. It's part of the history. Howler Mouse was a popular man. Howler Mouse is one of the greatest people in the YouTube comic book community. He used to get a lot of phone calls during our live show. Captain Cummings used to drink a lot during his live show. Everyone loves having a cold one for talking about comics. Little did we know, Captain Cummings was building up a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate inside, because even though this was Captain Cummings, he was the host of the show alongside Costin Bromstar. He had hate, he had jealousy over the popularity of Howler Mouse. Howler Mouse, man. Howler Mouse didn't intend to be some kind of YouTube sensation, didn't intend to be some kind of YouTube superstar. He just wanted to share his passion and lifelong collecting and love for comic books. And that's all it was. But Howler Mouse was getting a lot of love, and that caused the captain to get really jealous. Okay, and this is an old story. A lot of y'all came along the damn we love comics thing and all that kind of crap, and y'all talk a lot about that guy. I mean, he's just like I said, he's just another pawn in the bigger scheme of things, if you think about it. And so finally, Captain Cummings told one of the guys. That guy told Howler Mouse. Instead of Howler Mouse and Captain Cummings talking about it, Captain Cummings started the telephone game. Captain Cummings started the behind-the-back talk before there was off-air behind-the-back trash talk. And the show fell apart. Captain Cummings finally left. You know, he got branded a troll, and which I don't know if that was really fair. I mean, in hindsight, I mean, you call it like you call it. He was trolling Howler Mouse, and almost like if it was an obsession. And it was pretty weird and pretty scary and pretty screwed up. But it was rough, man. So anyways, he left, and he left for a pretty damn long time. And I know Tim Tebow and I know like other folks remember Captain Cummings from the WLC days, but he was gone a pretty good solid 6 months, possibly to a year. And then he started doing another channel that focused more on, you know, kind of like a Legends Truth, but more of the, what are they, conspiracy theory type stuff. And he did that channel with another guy, and it was really successful. And Cap had the urge, he wanted to come back to the comic book community, but this time things were going to be different. Things were going to be different. I want to give you the best interpretation of these dates as I can, and I know a lot of you are, you know, want proof, things like that. Let me see if I can do a monitor capture. Look at that handsome guy. All right, let's see if we can find this. Okay, we have a lot of stuff here. Let me go into YouTube and do this. Look at that handsome guy right there. Not that guy, but, you know. Okay. So we have a lot of videos here. 1 year ago, SJW Agenda, Marvel SJW. 1 year ago, Marvel's diversity problem. Marvel, PC culture is bankrupting Hollywood. 11 months ago, 1 year ago, 10 months ago, 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Comic Book Girl 19. She's been around a while, but she was kind of, I would say, probably the very first. Well, I'm not going to say the first because Howler Mouse has way more knowledge than this girl could ever have. There's a Diversity in Comics one. 1 year ago, how to spot an SJW Marvel story. But look at this one here. Howler Mouse. 3 years ago. Let's see if we can find this video. Howler Mouse. Let's just type in Howler Mouse SJW. Now that guy's handsome. Damn it, Howler Mouse. Why? Why? Okay, so Howler Mouse. Maybe, let me do all together. Maybe he didn't do. There you go. There you go. Here we go. SJW, Labels and Comics. SJW. These are all Howler Mouse. Now, there's one I want to get you, though. There was one from 3 years ago. More Howler Mouse videos. If FJW has actually read comics. You know, I can't find it, but Howler Mouse did these videos like years ago. Freaking years ago. I'd have to really study my Howler Mouse, and he does a ton of videos. But anyway, it was like a part 3. Let me see if I can find this. I should have had all this lined up. Anyway, but like we have this one. Who's the audience? Maybe, oh, okay, this is it. This is what it is right here, people. This was the video I'm talking about. This was one of the, it was his Marvel Comics rant series. But this is the third part. This video is from August 19th, 2016. So I guess it was about 2 years ago, but it's one of the very early things you're going to see in the whole SJW Marvel is this guy named Howler Mouse. This is the guy that Captain Cummings hates. The guy that he hates because it was that original jealousy back from 2011. And there's Howler Mouse right there. 2016. This was pretty much a full year before Diversity in Comics even became a channel, and pretty much close to around the same time Captain Cummings started doing his videos. But here's the kicker, and y'all could do your research, you know, I don't have to show y'all shit y'all already know. The whole kicker about that whole thing is Howler Mouse made those kinds of videos. And it's not one of those things where Howler Mouse, you know, doesn't like social justice warriors, or Howler Mouse, you know, hates on people, or Howler Mouse has no hate. Howler Mouse has no jealousy. This is Howler Mouse talking here. But Howler Mouse, and I've been in the YouTube comic book community since 2011. I've been here since G1. I've seen all the generations. I've seen all the reiterations. I've seen all of the reboots. I've seen all of the rebirths. I've seen all of the afterbirths. I've seen the dark. I've seen the light. I've been in the dark. I've been in the light. I've had my brain freaking open up to this digital world we're living in that is supplied by Satan himself, trying to convolute God's analog reality. So when you talk about this kind of stuff, this comic book stuff, the SJW stuff, the comics gate, video game gate, females, you know, all this shit, all of this stuff, this ain't the first time, because history has a tendency to repeat itself. And you could take a look at all these stories. You could take a look at all this drama. You could take a look at all this trash talk. You could take a look at all this alt-right, alt-left. You could take a look at fucking Control-Alt-Delete. And you could take it Because exactly, if you open the mind up, if you try to understand this higher intellect, this higher power, this spiritual power, alt right, alt left, control, alt delete, it's all been done before in the Holy Bible. Okay? Alt right, you had Captain Cummins, Cain. You had alt left, you had Howler Mouse. Two guys doing things totally different ways. One guy doing it for fame and fortune and bringing his feast, laying it in front of the altar. And then you have a simple act of a guy like Howler Mouse, like Abel, taking the meat, taking the potatoes and laying it down. Not an extravagant feast, but laying it down singly and, giving that up to God. Exact same thing we do in the comic book community. We take things, and like some people. I'm not saying all of the alt-right. I'm not saying all of the alt-left. But some of them will take things, and their purpose. Naobi Comics knows what this is all about, because he's one of them guys that it's about him. It's about making his book the best his book can be. So it's about building the subs, building the views, building a bankroll to do what he loves. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's that Abel approach. Or no, that's the Cain approach, like doing it like that. Me, I care about people. I love people. I want to see people make better decisions. I want to bring people closer to God. I want to bring people to Jesus Christ. That's what I'm here for. Now, I do got a great voice, no doubt about it. People love the legend. They love to hear the legend's truth. But they also love drama too. And they do love negativity. And it's something that they can be entertained with. And I'm no saint, like I said. I've made my share of videos that bring out some drama of events that I want you all to know about. Hence this video. Jealousy fuels a revolution of hate. So you got the Cain and Abel story. It's one of those alt-right, alt-left stories right in the first part of the Bible. You got alt-right. You got old Eve taking the apple because she wants the apple. You got old alt-left. Damn, what did you do? What did you do? It's kind of like a lot of people, they said that after Trump got elected. Oh. No, but anyway, I'm just throwing that shit out there. But, so what did God do? God got pissed, okay? God got pissed. What did God do? I told you. Alt-right, alt-left. God laid down the control, alt-delete, baby. And it was a blue fucking screen of death. BFSOD. Blue screen of death. Water filled the screen. Water floods filled analog world. Because even back then, God knew what this world would be back then. God knew what this world would be like today. For he is the Alpha. He is the Omega. Not Darkseid, not Thanos. Those guys, they wouldn't even have a pot to piss in. Let me tell you, and I could go on and on. But that's kind of the story. All of this stuff you see in today's time, and I'm kind of getting off tangent into just normal life, normal Great Legends videos. All these things you see in time, you can go back in time. History has a tendency to repeat itself, and the greatest history book of all time is the Holy Bible. It's God's Word. Now, Satan will try to manipulate. Satan will try to retaliate. Satan was jealous. He got cast out of heaven. Kind of like Captain Cummings, actually. Now I'm not saying Cummings is Satan or anything. I'm just saying you could always relate things back to a form of a higher power. Those two guys, diversity in comics, Captain Cummings. Me personally, I'm not afraid of those people. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any ill will toward them. I'm just showing the comic book community on both sides, alt-right, alt-left, you could say SJW or anti-SJW or Comicsgate or whatnot, that you could see both sides of every coin. And it's up to you as a YouTube viewer or a comic book collector or whatever you want to call yourself. You don't even have to pick a side, man. You just kind of do your own thing, make your own videos. But I want y'all all to know that there is jealousy out there in the comic book community. I've talked about jealousy on Legends Truth many a times. Just remember the eBay fashion commercial. It stems on jealousy. But just remember, like, that's how it is. And you know, some people out there may get down about it. Some people may get depressed about it. You know, well, this guy's winning, or this guy's winning, or my reputation is going to be tarnished because these people are saying things about me. Those people are saying things about me. And really all you got to worry about is what's written in that book of life upstairs. You know, that's just my own personal beliefs, kind of mixing it in there a little bit, because what's really cool about YouTube, you know, whether you have 75,000 Diversity in Comics subscribers or whether you have 22,000 Captain Cummings subscribers, I tend to take my channel, even though it's comics, cooking, gaming, and the truth, I'll take what I do have, the resources I do have, and instead of, you know, spreading the hate or being negative all the time, I'm going to flip all of that shit upside down, and I'm going to preach God's word when I have a chance, or I'll preach more things about positivity, or I'll try to grow other YouTubers' channels. Let's give a big shout out. I don't know where this guy is today or what he's doing. I haven't checked the chat. Let's talk about our boy. Let's talk about our boy. Who Dat Comics and Movies. Who Dat, man. I'm going to have something special for Who Dat later tonight if he's still game for it. It's a solo auction. It's going to be called Who Dat's Live Auction. If I can get a hold of him, if he can get some books together, I'm going to bring him on the show, the auction. But it's not going to be Legends Live Auction. It's going to be Who Dat's Live Auction, its own personal auction, because my brother Who Dat, and I hope you don't get mad for me saying this, but Who Dat thinks that he's getting overlooked on some of these big group live projects or group live shows that are coming in. He thinks he's getting overlooked. And I don't think he's getting overlooked. I just think people aren't looking hard enough for Who Dat Comics and Movies. So Who Dat has been kicking ass lately, making solo videos. Like 3 times a week he's making these solo videos. And he's really improving all of his stuff across the board. So I want you to know, Who Dat, I love you. You're a good friend of mine. And I want you to know, you know, you're always welcome. If you just want to get on, and we've talked about doing this before, me, you, and Reaper. If you want to get on and talk like big boy books or spec books, or and when I say spec books, I'm not talking about stuff like modern spec. I'm talking like just big time money investing books. But, you know, some of those modern ones are big time money investing books. But anyway, what I'm saying is I'm just talking about some big boys, you know, because Who Dat likes talking about big boy books. And he's a big time smart investor in big boy books. And I know I've talked about, you know, people will hear things on my channel. Oh, you got to go check on Legend. Legend's talking about you. And I had a video a while back where some names were dropped, and I named off the person that is the most popular, biggest YouTube guy that has the multiple copies in my eyes, because this guy's been around since around 2015, 2016. And when you talk about, you know, the person that has the multiple copies in our comic book community, hands down, it's Don the Icon. He's the icon of having multiple copies. But it may have came across me being an asshole when I was just kind of joking around. But Don, when I want to know like something special about one of these books he's showing, like whether it be Outcast, Handsy, that Demon Baby one that looked creepy as all get out. And I was scared of that book. I don't even know if it's called Demon Baby. I would ask Don the Icon. If I want to know something about a hot spec moist book, keyword moist for Seeking Near Mint, because he loves the ladies. It makes him moist when he sees these covers. I'll ask Doom 143 and Seeking Near Mint Comics. Now, I know Seeking Near Mint Comics and Doom Warrior 43, they have a lot of other books. They got key issues. They got first appearances. But the thing that I always see them talking about mostly is like the variant stuff. So I'll ask them about variants, or I'll try to get some knowledge to fill my head in with variants. And I've gotten great knowledge from them, because I usually will not buy right away, but I'll set on stuff and wait for stuff to get really cheap, which you find out they call them. And I didn't know this. I had to ask Alex this one time. I said, what is a stealth buy? These guys always talk about these stealth buys. I didn't know what the freak a stealth buy was. But I actually have done stealth buys, and I kind of understand what they are now. Alex the Comic Hoarder, Art Germ. Well, guess what? I love Fantastic Four. I'm going to get some Art Germ in August when Fantastic Four #1 comes out. I'm also going to go New York Warriors on people. I'm going to get a Midtown store exclusive if I can get it. So I watch these guys, and I have multiple copies of books, like Don. I have hot variants. Well, I guess I don't know if they're hot. I mean, I think John Byrne's pretty awesome. I got some John Byrne variants. I love John Byrne. I don't know if he's like hot or anything. And I've got some nice, I got Del Auto, Brandon, aim high. I got my first Del Auto a while back. And I'm going to have my first Art Germ coming up. And that kind of goes back. I'm not buying these books because those guys have those books. But I watch their videos to learn something that I may not know that will keep me well informed. But I'm not one of those cookie cutters. I'm not going to go out and buy a book because everyone else is buying the book. It usually has to have a big orange rock guy on the cover. It has to have blue and white and say the number 4. Or it has to have a kid that yells out Shazam. Or, you know, maybe he's a one-eyed sailor. Or a vampire that's misinterpreted. Love you, Barnabas. Carl Barks, Don Rosa, Chester Gould, all of that stuff, man. It's not because I'm trying to be someone I'm not. It's not because I'm trying to follow in someone else's footsteps. It's because I'm showing my passion. I'm being myself is what I'm doing. And that's the thing I've always told y'all here on YouTube, especially y'all younger YouTube comic book community members, and which actually those guys that I had beef with, and I guess I still have beef with them because they hate my ass, and I don't typically really like them, but we actually agreed on a lot of this stuff, just do you know what I'm saying? Get some kick-ass Flash books, get some Yosagi Ojimbo, get some Captain Midnight, man, because that shit's awesome. And I ain't gonna lie, those are kick-ass characters, and man, that is those guys' passion. But it's a form of taking the passion of what we love, talking about the passion to everybody, but realize that when you talk about the passion, there will be jealousy that will fuel hate, that will divide not only the comic book community on YouTube, the comic book community on Instagram, the comic book community on Twitter, the comic book community on Facebook, the comic book community in all of social media, but it divides the YouTube community, whether it's gaming, whatever. Because let me tell you something, this past election year was really the first time, and it had been done before, so it's not first time, but the social media aspect, the digital aspect, the internet, websites, news websites, political websites, fake news, real news, Russia, America, whatever. It was the first year where that overtook your normal OTA, over the airwaves, over the high definition, over the DirecTV satellite. It was the first time where we could take a look at all of the political agenda by both candidates, and it was all on the internet at the touch of our fingertips. Okay? So we had instantaneous news about all these people. We had instantaneous ways to share our love or our hatred toward some of these people that threw their name in the hat, like the Hillary, the Trump, the Bernie Sanders, and all the Carson and all these other people. It was kind of that first time. And with the advent of this thing, it's called generational separation, is, and DVC, I'm not, no disrespect, but actually I'm going to go even, I'll say DVC, Captain Strangelove, Hippie's Collectibles. Underneath you got your Sleepy Readers, ETA Nicks, Luther Mannings. Underneath you got Comics with Buellers, Amazing Murphinators, Reaper Tate 728. You got your Great Legends. You got your Reviews from the Batcave, your Alex is the comic, and it kind of trickles on down, into the 30-year-olds and the 20-year-olds. And throughout these generations, everything is always different. Yet, the meat and potatoes, if you will, stay the same. So, what I want y'all to take from this, I gave you a little bit of history on all this kind of stuff. I'm going to give a lot of love to Area 51, Don the Icon, Silver Age Dave, Joker, Doom 143, Seeking Near Mint, Last Avenger, Symphonic Elk, all these folks in the chat. I know I haven't looked at the chat as well as I should have looked at the chat. Oh my God, Brandon, I gave you some love earlier, you Gabriel Delato loving person. But no, like Doc, you know how we start. For me personally, my dad is my greatest friend. My dad is my greatest inspiration. My dad is the greatest living Christian man I'll ever know. We got Naobi. He's 43 old. He's stuck in the 80s. Naobi comic. Oh man, look at Jesse, man. I'm so sorry. I saw you earlier go by, and I didn't give you no love, but I got a lot of love for JLS Comics and the JLS Comic Conversation that you can find on JLS Comics. My mind went blank. Contender's another one I actually wanted to get Hoot at for that show, and I haven't talked to Contender about this before, about doing a show about big boy investing books and stuff. But that's something down the line. That's actually something I'd rather get Hoot at to do on Hoot at's channel, because I want to inspire Hoot at to not be worried about first comic book live group show, first solo live show, back-to-back winners of Comic Uno's Geeky Awards for the best live show, hands down, 2013, 2014, in all of YouTube. I beat out all the group ensemble shows, solo live show, back-to-back, best solo live show in the YouTube comic book community on Friday nights, and that was the Great Legend Show. But just like all of those accolades, first time here in the Jealousy Fuels a Revolution of Hate, I coughed up my first loogie. And that's what you get here on the Great Legend Show. You get entertained. So if I could do that, so saith the flock. You know what I'm saying? But the comic gospel, baby, that's what it's all about, man. We got Mr. Rockfish coughing up. That's it, man. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Yeah, I need to get more DP. Actually, this is Spider Grandpa's special, Coke Zero. Anyway, I didn't want to, be a bringer of the hate. I'm not jealous over anyone's channels. I have my own personal goals in life and personal goals on YouTube. Hoodat Comics, to get back to my boy Hoodat, I want to see if I can get Hoodat going on some things. I want to see Hoodat Comics and Movies host his own show, but have people on his show that talk about big boy books and stuff. I think that would be a good show because Hoodat's really knowledgeable over the big boy books. So Hoodat, think about doing some of that, and we're going to have you hopefully tonight on Hoodat's live auction on the Great Legend Show, youtube.com/rdowdy95. Also, keep in mind, reviews from the Batcave. Chad and Rich is going to be going live tonight. They're starting out their very first live show tonight on YouTube on their channel, Reviews from the Batcave. So make sure you check out those guys over there. It's going to be something special for the YouTube comic book community, and something a first for its kind, where they unite the comic book community. And it's not about Rich or Chad or anyone they have on the show, but it's about enlisting all the comic book community, everyone in the chat room, to be a part of the show. A lot of engagement through the audience, a lot of chat room engagement and audience engagement, and also some giveaways and some prizes as well, to just make people feel good. Because like I said, in my town today, we had a kid shoot himself in front of a classroom that was most likely due to bullying and some of this stuff with social media. Social media is a double well, pretty much it's a devil-edged tail. It's not even a double-edged sword, it's a devil-edged tail. But this kid killed himself today, and people are killing themselves every day. People are getting bullied every day. Not just the kids that go to school, but it's, people like me and you, people like Tim, Lords of the Long Box, getting bullied just because, of his own beliefs. Now, that's not to say Diversity in Comics and Captain Cummings, those guys probably get bullied a lot as well. I'm sure they get bullied a lot as well. And guys, that really sucks to get bullied and stuff, It's just kind of messed up, I mean, but there is ways to stop that kind of bullying. I want to kind of end with this. Whether it be 75,000 subs, 22,000 subs, 22 subs. If you preach the jealousy, if you preach the negativity, if you preach the hate, you're going to get a flux of other people, like-minded people, negative people, hateful people, jealous people. They're going to come to the channel. 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 And, before you know it, that big group has turned into a humongous hate group that will send out people to troll, to bash other channels. I mean, we saw this back with those guys when they thumbed down Blaster's stash. I mean, one of those members admitted to that big group thumbing those people down. Now, shall we hate that one member that told us that group thumbed them down? Should we hate that one member over the fact that he actually thumbed the video down? Should we hate those people that hated us to begin with? And let me tell you, quite honestly, it's really hard. Because, I've felt anger, I've felt hate over certain people in the YouTube comic book community. I've drunk a lot of rum. I've made videos about it. I've been there. I've done that. But listening to positive people like my brothers Chad and Rich, my boy Jeremy, Trinity Comics, Alex the Comic Hoarder, freaking JP, All About Comics, C. Woodard 19, Paul Midwest Comic Man. No. He's pretty negative, actually. I'm just kidding. He hates a lot of shit, too. I'm just kidding. Paul, I love you. But some of these people, what I'm saying? They've made me a better person. Kurt, Joker68, they've kind of opened up my eyes to, use my platform of, I don't know, 4,000 and something subs or whatever, to instead of preaching hate or bitching about stuff, or and I'm not saying if you don't like Han Solo, tell us why you don't like Han Solo, but I mean, don't make it a deal. You shouldn't make it a deal where it's trying to drum up or stir the shit pot, which we've seen that happen since 2011. We got to be, as a whole, as a community, and some people hate that word community, and it's hard because you have so many people that you thought you knew from some of those old times, like G1, and then when you talk to them, they're they can give two shits about like all of you, you know what I mean? They just do it because they're doing it for themselves, which is really cool and all. But I kind of find it like, if I mean, it's just like a light switch. You start out by doing this for yourself, but then when the veil is lifted and you see the bigger picture of life, you know that, you know what, I've got probably only 25 years left on this earth. I want to see, instead of how many walls I can build up, I want to see how many walls I can break down. You know what I mean? Instead of how many hearts and souls I can break, I want to see how many hearts I can love and how many souls I can save. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the bigger picture. And it's not about views. It's not about subscribers. It's not about money. It's about each and every one of you and the ways you can better yourself, not just by reading a comic book or watching me play a video game or watching me cook something, but it's ways you can better yourselves when I speak the Legends truth. And I hope I did that for each and every one of you today. Tim, we love you. TiVo's the man. Check him out. Lords of the Long Box, episode 88. Read some of those comments, but try not to engage in the hate. Just leave a comment and let TiVo know how much you love his channel and how much you care for everything he does for our comic book community, because even though he pits two people against each other on the fight clubs, fan day fight clubs or whatever, I mean, he puts people together, but in the end, he brings them together. And it's a way that you'll only be able to find out if you subscribe to Lords of the Long Box. Remember, check down below. And just kind of take things you see from other people if you really want to build your channel, because there's still people out there, well, what am I going to do with this information? I want more subs. I want more views. I want more money. Well, just work it really hard at what you do. Just look at Captain Cummings. He borrowed a lot of stuff from Howler Mouse. That's why Captain Cummings is so successful today, is he borrowed some ideas that Howler Mouse was talking about, because Howler Mouse at the time was angry at modern day Marvel Comics. Howler's never hated the comics, but he was disappointed that the comics weren't the same as the ones he read as a child. And he didn't intend for those videos to blow up. If you watch Howler Mouse, he's a lot like me in a sense that he's telling it like it is, and he's telling his thoughts throughout his history of his whole life, which is really cool because you get to go through the decades with Howler Mouse. Kind of like when you watch Reaper Tate or listening to Anthony Luther Manning, you hear these histories. Well, Captain Cummings was one of those guys that say, okay, well, there's views, there's subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and make all my videos like that. And he does. And then years later, a guy by the name of Diversity Comics comes along and sees this guy named Captain Cummings. And he takes a lot of that negative stuff that you see in a lot of Captain Cummings videos, and then he creates even more negativity. One guy, and it's the guy I have a beef with, people write PSAs on me, he tried to do the same thing. He wanted to embrace the negativity to build his channel, but it kind of backfired. It hadn't really done anything for him yet. So I always told the guy, man, it's like, put aside the hate and embrace the love. But a lot of times, what do I know, right? I'm just a great legend. Anyway, I hope y'all get something from this video. I got to go. I got to talk to my kids about losing the loss of a family member. Ooh, it's going to be a rough one. But y'all know what? I want y'all to, each and every one of you, love each other. And just try to take some of these things that I've said and try to just improve yourself. You know what I'm saying? And make sure tonight you watch Reviews from the Batcave. That's a live show that's coming out. Possibly afterwards, if Who Dat's available, we're going to be doing Who Dat's live auction, solo, just me and Who Dat. That's after Reviews from the Batcave, after maybe a 30-minute interlude. Saturday night, we got Legends live auction. We're going to have Amazing Murfinator there. Hopefully, we'll have Trinity Comics there. We'll have Who Dat back. Big Bear Comics. Jason Smith is going to be there. And we may have some more there too, so make sure you stay for that. And Sunday night, it's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Trinity, a.k.a. Jeremy, Trinity Entertainment, we're going to be going back to Blast It or Stash It to celebrate those guys hitting episode 100. And for all those evil guys that thumbed us down that one time, I just want you to know right now, me and my main man, Trinity, we're going to be right back there. So I want you to make sure you come by, watch the video, thumb us down again. Okay? You'll be glad you did because it is going to be awesome. Sorry I didn't check the chat a lot, everybody, but I want to thank everyone for coming out. We got Sean Richards. We got Sunshine Collects Things. We got everybody here. We got Joker68. I know, man. It's tough. It's tough to lose loved ones. And mine, I have a great... I just embrace death. You know what I'm saying? Not like, your run-of-the-mill guy that gets killed in a superhero movie like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent or anything. But I just kind of like embrace death because especially I'm a lot more heartbroken if the person didn't have Jesus in their life. I'm a lot more heartbroken because then I blame myself and say, man, if only I would have told this person about Jesus a little earlier. But this woman's a great woman. She lived a great life. I mean, great Christian lady. I mean, right when she closed her eyes to go to sleep, man, she woke up in heaven, man. You can't beat that with no silver stick. You can't beat that with no Marvel comic book. But anyways, I really appreciate each and every one of you. I want all of y'all to have a good night. Make sure, Wednesday Comics, brother, great to see Wednesday Comics. We was chatting with Wednesday Comics a little bit last night. Injustice does make everything better, man. But Injustice 2. And Alfred 83, you know what else makes things better? A non-laggy connection. Because Swamp Thing and Hellboy can beat your butt a lot better when you're less laggy. Otaku Dan, great seeing you, brother. Great seeing you, man. Anyways, I got to go. Everyone, y'all have a great rest of the day. This is the Great Legend saying peace out. God bless.